good.
properties.
Good.
Yeah, and props is a property that inherited from parents to the child.
Very good. They are
And
passed in the parent and they are accessed in the child. So what does this do? This thing. Or before that, what does this thing called? What is this thing called?
from this we can get all the thing from the item.
Very
We
good.
do not write the everything.
Yes, we don't have to
That
write
process.
everything manually. Like we don't have to write image, price, and title manually here one by one. This would mean that pass everything that is inside the item into this book component. So this is called what? What is this thing called? Like it has a specific name. Which operator? It's called spread operator. Okay, so basically spreading all the properties. Okay, so today what we are going to do is we're going to do another project, plus we are going to do some cleanups. Okay, we want to clean up. So the problem is, for example, we are studying React because React is fast, plus React is component based, plus it reduces the hassle of cleaning up stuff. But at the moment, all of our components, all of our data is inside one file, and that is not a really clean approach. Okay, so one reason for using React is it's clean. And how is it clean? Because each of the data, each of the component has their own files. So at the moment, everything, okay, yeah, everything is inside the same file. So what do we want to do is we want to separate each component. So how many things do we have in in this file, in this main.jsx file? How many separate things do we have? How many different things do we have?
We have few components,
We have this books array,
one
like,
database.
yes, mini database, yeah. One book list component, that is the parent component, and yes, one book component. So basically we have three different things that are residing in the same file, and that is not the best approach. So first, before cleaning up, let me start the server. So how are we going to start the server? Npm run dev, and then we can just control and click. Yeah, so what we are going to do now is we are going to separate each part. So first of all, let's separate this one. Let me open console here as well, so if we have any errors or any information we can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this books, I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to make a separate file for the mini database. And how are we going to do that? Right click, new file, and let's call it data.jsx. Okay, is there a problem, or is everything good? Is it right or not?
That's fine.
Yes, good.
Is it right?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so let me save it, and let me save this one here as well. Let me remove this one, remove, because now we have a separate thing from this data. But now we would encounter an error, and that error is going to say reference error, books is not defined. And where is it not defined? In the main file. Why is it giving me this error? It's saying that this books is not defined, like I can't find it. Why?
Because we didn't link it.
Exactly, good. Because data, that is the books, is inside another file, and we are calling it inside another file. So how are we going to link up these two? How do we link in React?
Import.
Yeah, good. So we have to import this file. But before importing, we need to do what? Before importing, we need to, like, you cannot import unless that thing is, what? You cannot import something unless that thing is exported. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to export this books, only then we can import it here. So how do we do it? There are two ways to export stuff. And what are those two ways? Let me put the comment here as well. One is called named exports, and other one is called uh, default exports. Okay, one is named and one is default. Now what's the difference between these two? The difference, let me show you here. First difference, the visual difference is named imports are always going to have these curly braces around them. First thing. Okay, the first difference between the named and React. Sorry, the named and the default imports or exports. Named imports are going to have these curly braces around them, and default imports would not have the curly braces around them. The first difference. Okay, what's the first difference?
The named import is gonna have curly brackets.
Yeah, and the default one?
It's not gonna have
Exactly.
anything.
So what is this? Is this a named import or a default import?
Name,
Named. And what about this one?
default.
Default. Yes. Now we are going to learn both of these two. That's the first difference. Okay, by the way. Second difference is you cannot change the name of named imports. Okay, the name of named imports need to be exactly the same as they are exported with. For example, let me show you the practicals so that it's more understandable. So first of all, what we are going to do with this one is we are going to named export it. Okay, we're going to export it, but named export. So how do we named export something? Before this const, we're just going to put export, and that's it. Okay, so that's how you export a named export. Now that we have exported it, we need to import it where we want it, like here. So what do we do? First, let me disable all of it. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say import, and would I put curly braces or not?
Yes, because it's named.
Yes, good. So this one. And the second thing about the named is you cannot change the name of the named import. So what is the name of this import export?
Const book.
Books. The name is books. Const for the variable. So we're gonna say books. So where is it coming from? It's coming from, is it in the same folder as this main.jsx file?
No, it's coming from data.
Yeah, is data in the same folder as this main.jsx? Like, are they on the same level of the folders? Yeah. So how many dots?
Two.
They're on the same
Only
level.
for
Same
one.
level. Yeah, and then we can say data, and that's it. And you have the same working thing, but now it's more cleaner. Okay, but it is a drag. Like, we have to do this manually. Do we have to do it manually? No. What we can do is, what do we need to import? What is that? What is it that we need to import here?
The book.
The books. We won't need to import this one, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to go at the end of this word that we want to import, like the end of this word, and then we are going to press control space. The moment you put control space, you are going to have the suggestions, like the suggestions pop-up is going to come up, that is going to tell you that these things match your search. Like, we have this first one, the books, that is coming from the data, and then we have this book list that is in the same level. So what do we need? Do we need this first one or the second one?
The first
The
one.
first one, and we can simply press enter, and it's auto going to be imported here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is the automatic way, but you need to know the manual way as well, which we did before it. Okay, so nothing's changed apart from this apart from the fact that now it's more cleaner, and now we want to make it more clean. And how can we do that?
We have to make another file.
Yes, another file for what?
Component.
Very good, another component. We have two components here. We have the book list and we have the book. So the question is, which component are we going to separate? The book or the book list?
The child one.
Very good, the child, because book is being rendered here. We are not going to change this one. Okay, so I'm going to take this book, I'm going to cut it, and now I'm going to make a new file. At the moment you would see an error, and that error is going to be what? Book is not defined, because we don't have anything as book in our application. So what we're going to do is, in the source folder, I'm going to make a new file, and this time something's going to change. I cannot write this book.jsx because this file is for the component. So what is the first rule for a component? What was the first rule for a component?
The capital letter.
Yes, the first letter should be capital. So we need to change this to what? Capital B book. Okay, even the files of the components need to have the capital letter, and then we can just simply paste what we had previously. So now, although we have a separate file for this book, but again this file doesn't know about this file. So what are we going to do? Like we need to yeah, we need to link them up. So what is the how do we link them up?
You have to export it first.
Very good. We have to export it first and then we can import it. Now this time we can do named exports, but we need to learn both things. So first we did named export, and how do we do named exports? We can simply put const before it and it's going to be exported named. Now let's learn about default imports. How can we do that? We can say export and then default, like at the end of this file, export default. And what do we want to export? What do we want? The book, yeah. So book, and yeah, that's it. We have exported it. Now let's import it here. So what is the shortcut for importing?
You're gonna go to book.
Yeah, at the end of this book, yeah, control space. It's gonna show me all of the lists that I can get. So what is the thing that we want?
Book.
The first one, perfect, and it's auto imported. What is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two?
That's name default. This is
Yeah, this is default and this is name. The difference is it has curly braces, it doesn't have it, and it's going to work perfectly fine. Nothing's changed apart from the fact that now it's way more cleaner, like way more. And this is exactly what we have to do. We need to make separate files for each component. Okay, okay. There's one more difference between the name and the default. In the default one, we can change the names as we import it. Let's say I'm going to say test, and here I can say test as well. It's going to work fine. Look, nothing's changed. Okay, so this is the second difference between the named and default. The second difference is what? You can change the name of the default imports and it's going to work fine. Okay, any questions? Okay, let's do another project similar to this. Like it's exactly similar to this, but now in this project we are going to use, we are going to move, we are going to use like an approach that is like a standard approach. Okay, this one, what we did with this one is we learned how the React flows, what is the flow of React. But from now on we're going to do projects in the standard form, in the standard way. So what we are going to do is we are going to make uh, this thing, like this thing. Okay, like this chat thing. So let's say I'm going to get, let's say, WhatsApp sidebar or a chatting bar. Let's do simple one first. Maybe let's say, like it's not really sharp pixel perfect, so we can uh yeah, let's say let's do this one. This is my own. So I'm gonna take a snipping tool. Yeah, save it, and let's say I'm gonna say side bar, and we're gonna save it on the desktop. Okay, since we are going to move with the standard way, we need to create a new project. Okay, so how do we create projects of React?
you open CMD.
Good, we open CMD, perfect. And now I want to make a project in on the desktop. So how do I do it? What should I do?
You change your CD.
CD, yeah, good. CD and then desktop. And then I'm gonna say make there. And what we are going to do is we're gonna make WhatsApp sidebar. Let's not put spaces here. CD WhatsApp sidebar. Okay, now we're inside this folder we want to make our project in. So what is the command for making the project? What is the command for making a React project?
npm.
No,
React.
no. What is it? It started with something create.
Oh, create one.
Yes. Create dash wait space, and then what we can do is, what can we do? Create dash wait and then, come on. No. React? No. Create dash wait and then dot. It means I want to create a folder using wheat, and it's going to ask me for the React or Svelte or whatever framework we want. So dot means I want to create the project of React inside the current folder. What do I need to use? React and then JavaScript.
JavaScript.
Do we want to use roll down wheat? No, it's experimental at the moment. Do we need to start it now? No. And yeah, perfect. Now what do we need? Now it's basically telling me what to do. It's saying do what? npm install. So npm I is going to do the same thing, and it's going to make install the packages that we need. Okay, it's done. So now you open with the code. So we're gonna say code space dot, and yeah, it's open. So now we need to clean up some file. Now again, I'm gonna say the way we are going to create this project is the standard way. So you need to follow this in every React project. Okay. And for this project, we are going to use Tailwind. Now, what is this Tailwind? Tailwind is one of the, you can say, the latest and the most optimized and the most used frameworks of CSS. Up until now, we've used what? We've used Bootstrap to do our styling, yes? But this time, we're going to use Tailwind. Tailwind is almost like similar to Bootstrap, but it has a lot of customizability. Like we can customize it however we want. So Tailwind is what? It's basically a framework of CSS, just like Bootstrap, but it has a lot of customizability. Okay, before using Tailwind, let's start this project first. So Control J, npm run dev, Control click, and yeah. So how do we clean up this React project for a fresh start? Okay, again I need you to pay close attention. So open the source folder, go to the assets, delete this one, press control and click. It's going to select multiple things. Okay, control click. You're going to delete assets, you're going to delete app.css, you're going to delete index.css. Delete these three files. On the only thing that's going to be left is app.jsx and main.jsx. Okay, click on app.jsx and I need you to remove all of it. So control A and backspace. Now we need to create a component. And how do we create components? How do we create components?
Import
No.
React.
Yeah, good. Yeah, just like that. Sorry. We're gonna say import React from React. Yes, and then we need to create a function
Then
like this.
import create route.
No. You're not do any of that. It's going to be done, or it's already done in the React folder. Okay. So
Then
basically, yeah,
component name.
yeah. Component name. We can say, let's say app, and then we can do this. We're gonna return it, return, and then this, right? But it's a lot of things to do for a simple task. So what we are going to do is we're going to remove this, and we are going to install an extension that is going to do this for us. All we have to write is RAFCE. React arrow function export component, and it's going to generate all of it. Okay, but how is this going to be achieved? You're going to install an extension that's called ES7 plus, and this one, ES7 plus Redux React Native snippets. I need you to install this thing. Okay, it's going to do that thing for you. So whenever you need to create a component, all you have to do is write what I've just written it. C
RAFCE.
E, and this is going to generate your component. Okay, let me write something here so we can see whether it's working or not. So app, maybe, yeah, perfect. But we're still not going to see it. Why? Let me open the arrows tab, and yeah, it's saying that index.css is not recognized. And where is that? After cleaning the app.jsx, we're gonna go to, please give me a minute. तो क्या हुआ है इसको? क्या मसला है? ओए फारिस जी, क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? क्या हो गया? क्या हुआ मेरी सोनिया? ऐसे नहीं करो ना, मुझे दिखाओ, मुझे दिखाएं। क्या बात है, बताएं। बाबा के बाद छूना है आपने? हाँ, छोड़ दो। बाबा के बाद छोड़िए। चेंज करो। नहीं बाबा, बस मुका के आना मैंने। पंखा लग रहा है इसको। Okay, so yeah, let's continue. So okay, yeah, so after cleaning this up and making a fresh component, you're going to go to main.jsx, and you are going to remove this index.css. Why do you need to remove it? Why do we need to
Because we
remove it?
deleted the file.
Yeah, perfect. And now you have a fresh component to start, and perfect. Okay, now we have everything cleaned up. Let's do one more time. Yeah, so this is a fresh component. Okay, so what do we need to delete? Like, what do we need to spare? What do we need to delete, and what are we going to left with?
Assets
Yeah, we're going to delete assets.
and index.ss and app.css.
We're just going to left with app.jsx and main.jsx. We just need these two files. Everything else inside the source folders needs to be deleted. So assets, app.css, and index.css deleted. Perfect. Now you guys are going to go in the app folder, and you need to remove all of it. So Control A selects everything and backspace. Now we need to generate the boilerplate for React component. And how do we generate it?
RAFCE.
RAFCE. And this is only going to work if you have that extension I've told you guys about installed. So I'm going to say this is app. Save it. And now you guys are going to go inside the main.jsx file and remove this index.css, and that's it. That's how you guys are going to create your React components.
Okay.
Okay, React application. Okay, now we need to configure tailwind.css. But before configuring tailwind.css, do you guys get the concept? What is tailwind? Like, what is tailwind? Just like Bootstrap, it is a framework of CSS. It has a lot of classes that are built in. We can just integrate it and get going. But unlike Bootstrap, Tailwind has a lot of customizability. Like you have, like, you can say thousands of classes that are ready to be used. Okay, so how do we configure? How do we include Tailwind in our in our React project. It's a little different from Bootstrap. So what we are going to do is we're going to go to Tailwind, this one, and you guys are going to be greeted with this amazing web page that they have created. It's loading at the moment. Okay, so this is what they've created. Like, it's a big and long page, and it has again a lot of classes, like thousands of classes. So after coming to their website, you guys are going to go to the docs section, and then the, where is it, yeah, framework guides, and then we have a lot of libraries, a lot of frameworks that we can work with, but you won't see anything with the React word, but you would see this Next.js. Now Next.js is like React.js, so click on it, and this is how these are the steps that you need to undergo in order to install tailwind.css. So you guys are going to skip this first step because we have already created the React project. So we're going to start with the second step. The second step is we need to install this in our project. So copy it, and we need to open the terminal. How do we open the terminal?
Control plus J.
Control J. You guys are not going to write this here. Okay, this command is not going to be written here because this terminal is running our server. Okay, so not here. We need to open a new terminal. How? Just click on this plus icon. It's going to open a new server, and you need to install these packages in this new terminal. So Control V, because we just copied it, and press enter. It's going to install these packages that we have written, the tailwind.css, tailwind css, and this tailwind post css thing, the package inside our project. Okay, the second step, it's saying create a post css config.mjs file. Okay, we need to create this file in the root of our project. And what is the root? Like this main folder, we need to create it here. So I'm going to copy this file name in the root. How do we access the root? Click outside of these icons, these folders, and you can access the root. Click on this, like create file, paste it, and yeah, it's in the root file. Now inside this file we are going to copy the content and paste it. And lastly, no, not lastly, we still have something. So we're going to say add an import to the app and then globals.css. Okay, we need to create a file with the name, like you can name it whatever you want, but again the standard way is you're going to create a file with the name of globals.css inside the src folder, the source folder. So paste it, and inside this file we are going to have this tailwind import inside this file. And now we're left with the last step. We need to call this globals.css inside this app.jsx file, because this file, this app.jsx file, is your entry point of React. Like anything you want to see in React, you need to call it inside the app.jsx file. So how do we import it? Simply write import, and we need to import globals.css. After configuring all of these steps, what you need to do is you need to go to your server and then simply close it. So this, yeah, after coming to your terminal that is running your server, okay, this one, the first one, I'm gonna press Ctrl C. It's gonna close my server. Okay, and then we are going to start our server again. How do we start it? npm run dev, enter, and let's see, let's go back, and yes, tailwind is included. So these are steps. They might seem a bit complex at start, but everything is specified in their document, in their docs. You would have the video as well, you would have the documents as well. This is this is a really crucial step. This is the starting step for you. So now before doing our project, let's take a look at the classes the tailwind provides us. Okay, it has a lot of classes. I'm going to repeat it again. So class name, first thing, let's talk about the text. How do we change the size of the text? So I'm going to say, let's say text 3xl. Okay, xl stands for extra large. It's gotten big. If you were to do, let's say 6xl, it'll be bigger. The last size we have is 9xl. It's going to be the biggest that Tailwind provides. But let's say I want to have a size that is bigger than this, and Tailwind doesn't have that. So what do? We customize Tailwind according to our own self. And how can we do that? What we need to do is we're going to say text and then array brackets. Okay, these square brackets, and then you can write whatever size you want to have. Let's say if I were to write 700px, is going to make my text 700px, no questions asked. Here you go. Okay, if I were to do, let's say text, let's say 129px, it's going to do it just like that. So we can customize it however we want. For example, if we want to have a color, let's say we want to have an orange color, so we can just say text array brackets and orange. It's going to give it that orange color. Simple as that. Okay, so we're going to say text, let's say 6xl. It's big now. What do you think? How do we get this text in the center? How do we make it go in the center?
Larger.
No, we want to move the text to
Excellent.
Nana. So what should be the class? Just like Bootstrap, text center. Okay. Now we want to have a margin, so we can say empty. Bootstrap had the maximum margin of 5, right? Tailwind doesn't stop anywhere. You can have whatever margins you want. It's gonna do it just like that. Now if we have a margin that is not specified in Tailwind, what can we do? What can we do if we want to have a custom margin?
The array.
Yeah, array bracket, and we can simply do, let's say 30px. It's gonna do it just like that, or maybe let's say 300px. It'll work. Okay. Let's say I want to have a red color on the text. What can I do? Just in Bootstrap we used to do like text danger or text success or just like that. It doesn't, Tailwind doesn't have those kind of scenarios. So we can just say text red, and then we can specify the shade. Like what shade do we want? Lighter, the lower number means lower shades, and higher number means higher shades. So if I were to do, let's say 600, it's gonna have this dark color. If I were to do more color, more greater numbers, it's gonna have more darker colors. Similarly, let's say if I want to have or yellow color, what should I do? What can I do if I want to have a yellow color?
Text yellow.
Very good, text yellow, and then
Dash.
the number, yes, dash, let's say 500. It's gonna have this yellow color. Similarly, if I want to make it bold, we can say font bold. Here it is. Okay, now the best part about Tailwind is you wouldn't need to go outside of these classes. Like everything can be achieved here. For example, what do I want to do is, if I were to hover upon the text, I want it to change to red color. So hover can also be applied in Tailwind. How? I can simply say hover and then colons. Hover would mean that if I were to hover upon it, so we can do what? We can say bg red 600. So when is this red going to be applied?
When you have the font.
Yep, there you go. Yes. But now I want to make it smooth. What can I do? How do I make it smooth?
Transition.
Very good. Again, I don't need to go outside of that Tailwind. We can just put transition and then all. Like I want to have transition on all the hover classes. So that's it. So it's gonna be smooth, but still it's fast. Now I need to slow it down. So what we can do it, we can simply put duration and then let's say 500. Here you go. Okay. Now let's say we want to have a cursor of pointer. So we can simply say cursor pointer, and that'll be it. There you go. Okay. So the main purpose of telling you all of this is that we have a lot of customizability in Tailwind, and most companies or most freelance work is going to be using the Tailwind. Okay, so you need to know both of these stuff, because you might have a client who is going to ask you for Bootstrap or for Tailwind, so it's better to know both of it. Okay, So now let's talk about the project. Before talking about the project, let's talk about the hierarchy of React. Where is my, yeah, here it is. Okay. So what we want to do is okay, so yeah, this is your main file, this is your app file. Okay, this is the main file, this is the app file, and this is your meeting point. Okay, if you want to see anything, you are going to call it in the app folder. Now how does React work is, you make a lot of components. Like we have a lot of components, like we have, like, let's say thousands, and I've shown you in chat GPT. We have, let's say, thousands of components. Now we want to see these components. What we are going to do is, we are going to call these components inside our app. Okay, whenever you need to see something, you are going to call that inside your app is going to be called inside the main file. First things first, we are never going to have any sort of relation with this main file. We wouldn't need to do anything in the main file apart from deleting the index.css initially. So this main file is not part of our React at the moment. Okay, all we need to have concerns with is our components that we are going to create and this app file. So whenever you need to see something, you are going to call it inside the app file. You just need to remember this. Whenever you want to see something, call it inside the app file. Okay, this is the only thing you need to know at the moment.
Okay.
Let us start now. What we want to do is, we wanted to create this. So how many components do you see? How many components do you see? Come on, it's easy.
Um,
One.
How much? How many components are there?
Sir, one component है बार बार repeat हो रहा है.
So is it one? What were the rules for judging the components? If something is enclosing something else, like if it's a group, it's a component. And when it's repeating, it's a component. So this thing is being repeated again and again. So we would have one component. But all of these are inside a group. So how many components do we have?
one.
Two components. One that is enclosing all of them, and the other one that is
Oh, the
repeating.
one that's repeating.
Yeah, so we have two components. Okay, this one is constantly repeating, so it's a one component, and this one is enclosing all of these four, so it's another component. Okay, so let's start. So how are we going to start? Again, pay really close attention. So we're going to make this into an empty fragment as a parent. Okay, we need to create two components, right? The main and this one. So in the source folder, we're going to create a new file, separate file, and then let's call it chat screen. But make sure this first letter is capital. It's must. Chat screen, and then we're going to say dot .jsx. Okay, how do we create the boilerplate? How do we create it? Like the how do we create a component? We
R
yes,
O R
RAFC.
A F C.
Perfect. This is going to say, let's say chat screen. Save it. We don't see chat screen here. Why? Although we have written the chat screen here, why can't we see it? Why can't we see it? Because we've discussed, whenever you want to see it, whenever you want to see a component, what do we do?
Import.
Nope. Whenever you want to see something, what is the meeting point? Whenever we want,
App.js.
yes, whenever we want to see a component, we need to render it inside the app. Okay, so inside the app, you're gonna call it. So we're gonna say chat screen. It's auto going to be imported here. Okay, if it's not, you can simply put at the end of this chat screen, you can put press control space, and it's going to give you the suggestions. So it is the default import or the named import? Is it default or named?
Default.
Yes, default. Save it, and now we probably are going to see. Perfect, we do see it. Now let's start the basic styling. So we're going to use Tailwind. Okay, Tailwind gives us a lot of customizability, so let's try it out. So what do we have? We have this box. So we're gonna say W, and then I can put a custom width here. Let's say we can say W 1 by 2. What does W 1 by 2 mean? What does 1 by 2 mean? 50%. So we're gonna put, let's say, P10 rounded MD. 1 by 2 is half. Okay, we can put a shadow of 2XL. Now 2XL means we need a big shadow, and we can give a color of shadow as well. So let's say shadow and yellow, and let's say 500. Save it. Let's see what do we have. Perfect, we have a component. How do we make it go in the center? MX auto. We want to have a margin from top, so we can say MT10. We need to give it a color of black, so we can say BG black, or we can say BG black slash 50. This would give it a color of black but with some lighter shade. Or we can do BG gray 600. It's gonna have it this gray color. Perfect. Now we need to create this single thing. So what is this single thing? What is this single thing? It's another component. So what are we going to do? Again, pay close attention please. So we are going to create another file, another component. We can call it, let's say, single chat.js. Okay, how do we create the boilerplate? How do we create the boilerplate? Like how do we create the structure of the component? RAFC. Save it, and we can simply say for the moment this is a single chat. Save, but we are not going to see it. Why can't we see it?
Because you have to meet it in the app.
Okay, so now, yeah, we have to make it make the media in the app. But my question is this component, this single chat, is called in the app or is it called inside the chat screen component?
Inside.
Inside of what? Inside the chat screen. So chat screen is being called inside the app, and this single component is being called inside the chat screen. So eventually, indirectly, this single chat is being called inside the app. Okay, this is a hierarchy. Single chat is being called inside the chat screen. Chat screen is called inside the app. So we have a parent-child relationship. This single chat is the child of chat screen, and chat screen is being called in the app. Does that make? So the chat screen is inside of it? Yeah, chat. No. Single chat is inside the chat screen, and chat screen, that is the main component, is inside the app.js. So all three of these are linked up. Okay. So inside the chat screen, we are going to call this single chat. And how do we call a component? How do we call a component? Simply put, tags. Yes. And we have this single chat. Perfect. Any questions? No. Okay. Let's do some styling with this one. So we're gonna have a padding of, let's say, 5, margin of 3, BG of white. Let's give it a shadow, and perfect. Let's see what do we have. Yeah, good. So let's say we want to make it rounded. rounded MD. Okay, we don't have any numbers here, so MD means like we want to have it a medium of round. And yeah, so inside this, what do we have? We have how many components? Wait, not components. Okay, what is the layout? Inside the single chart, we have how many divs? We have two divs, one on the left side and one on the right side. Inside the left one, these two are still side by side, so we have another flex here. Let me do some good drawings. So this left one and the right one. Inside the left one, these things are side by side, so we have like this. And here we have the day, and we have this message icon or whatever it is. Perfect. So how do we make them go side by side?
Display flex.
Very good. So for tailwind, in order to have the display flex, we can put simply flex in tailwind. Okay, so inside the flex, so this first flex is for these two, the one that are separated, like this one and this one. Now inside the flex, we have another thing that's side by side. So what are we going to do? Another flex.
So you
Yeah.
make another flex
Yeah.
inside of it?
Yes,
On
perfect.
top of flex?
Yes, inside the flex. So inside the internal flex, we have a image. So let's make an image, and then we have this group, the name and the message. So we're gonna say and make another div. Let's say add nh5. That'll be like username, and p. This will be our message. And for the image, like we have the username and the message. Let's get the image. And let's make a real user. Yeah. So right click, copy image address, paste. Let's give it a class. Let's say w. What does w mean? If I were to say, let's say w 70 pixels, what does it mean?
Width?
Yeah, and what about this one?
Height?
Yeah, and we can say rounded full. Okay, we don't have any rounded circle here. Rounded full means we want to make it full round. Oh, this is in it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, now the problem is the image is being stretched. How do we sort that out? We have studied about this. What is the class? What is the property? Do you guys remember object fit?
Yeah.
So if it's being stretched, we can say object cover. So it's gonna cover up the entire the width and the height that is assigned to it. Okay, so it's too big, I think, so let's reduce the size. So maybe let's say 50px. Perfect. The username needs to be bold, so we can say font bold. Perfect. And it needs to be capitalized. Okay, the capitalized is gonna make the first letter capital. And for the p, we can say that is a class of text gray and 600. Perfect. On the other hand side, in the bigger flex, we have another div. Okay, and this div is going to hold our date. So we can say, let's say p with text green 500. You're gonna have a date of, let's say, we're gonna say yesterday. And the other thing is this, we're just gonna do this one, this number. So p with w of, let's say, because we want to make it perfect round, so we can give it a equal width and height. And how do we make it rounded? And then what's the class to make it full round?
Uh, full.
Full. And we can say bg green and 500, and let's just gonna say 4. Let's see what do we have. Perfect, we have this. But now we want to make this 4 go in the center. First of all, we need to make it white, we need to make it small, so we can say text sm. Perfect. We need to make it bold, so we can say font bold. It's bold now. Now how do I make it, this 4 go in the center of its parent?
Do we justify center?
Very good. but first we need to put flex, and entailment we have justify center. Okay, justify center. And for the items, what do you think for items you would have? You, because we need to line it as well. Item center, it's perfectly in the center. Now we need to spread these two apart. So in the main flex we can say justify between. Perfect. Now yesterday needs to be small, so we can say text sm and font semicolon. Now these two are not aligned, so in the main flex what we can do is items center. Perfect. Now this other thing is not looking good, so we can just remove this, and perfect. Now if we want to have, let's say, 5 chats, we can simply, or 6 chats, we can copy it down and we would have a perfect chat bar. I'm not going to continue after this because you guys are going to do it. Each of these name, image, message, and the number and the date needs to be different. And all of these are going to come from where? We have discussed about this.
From database.
From the database. And which database are we talking about?
Dummy.
Dummy database. Perfect. This is exactly the project, exactly like the project we have did in the previous classes. You need to make this one dynamic, like it should have a different name, it should have a different message, different date, different message number, different image, and it's exactly as we have did in the previous classes, and you have to do it.
Like you have all of them the same, but we do it different.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But it's exactly going to be like this. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to make a mini database, and you're going to say to this one that make a loop, like do a loop on this, as long as we have the data in the database, give me back this single chat. And this single chat is going to be dynamic, like this image is going to be coming from the database, this name, this message, this date, this message number is going to be coming from the database. Okay. And you have to do it before Saturday. Yes, before Saturday or on Saturday.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, that will be it. If you have any questions, please ask. If not, then we're gonna meet inshallah in the next class.
Okay.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
you.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.